All right, everyone, and we're back. We are up again. My name, once again, Filibuster Fox from Tower Dive TV, and I am joined today by Android, a long stalwart community member of the Guild Wars 2 scene. We've got with us in the call the coaches from the Necromancer team and from the Warrior team to do a post-game matchup and see what they think about those matches.
We're going to start off with the losers of this sorry, but we're going to start over at Ghibli. What do you think the Necromancers... You guys actually did fairly good when we played Legacy of Foefire, but on Kylo, not so much. What happened there?
You know, they were getting us in some small corners of the, and they were just like training us and getting some good like AOE damage on us, and that was really hurting us. K-pop always calling the back cap. I saw that. Always good job. So I tried doing that as much as I can, but mobility probably killed us a lot in that one too. We were hoping to get a Treb fight going, maybe. We were hoping maybe we wouldn't send them over if we had a minion master there, but it's okay.
Yeah, the first game. Do you know, were you kind of paying attention? Did you see what happened? You guys are doing so good in the beginning. The 4-split mid with the Necros was fantastic.
Yeah, we did really good. And then we just started getting back-capped a little bit, and we were more focused on the team fight. So was I. I was like, target this guy, target that guy. You know, he's used this, he's used that, you know, trying to help my guys through it. And I wasn't paying attention to the back node, and that's what kind of... I'll take a little bit of blame for that one.
All right, so you, K-pop, what was going through your mind when you saw that the Necromancers just would not leave mid and they were doing so good? What went through your mind? What did you tell your team to get them kind of back on track?
Oh man, Legacy of Foefire, I was on the edge of my seat there. We were losing that mid fight so hard, and we dropped the banner after the guy got stomped. Things were just looking so terrible for a second there. And then one of my DPS, he rezzed up. I told him, go pressure the far. Eventually we got enough of them to come back that I switched a bunker over to far. And we played outside node for about 5 minutes to catch up. And then from there, we were able to roll through back and gain the mid. And they spread out well, so we were able to pull it out.
Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. K-pop, you were 100% right. Titan was indeed a Titan. That guy would not die. In both games, he just stayed on midpoint, and no one could take him down. What was your thoughts, K-pop, on his build? Seeing a hammer, you know, we're really not used to seeing that, but your guys were just fantastic at lining up CC, so we could really land those skills. They could not dodge out of his hammer.
I think in the case of the Necros, the hammers seemed a little bit more effective than they may be in normal team play. I was banking on the fact that stability would be not too prevalent in their comp, and so by going dual hammers, although we weren't able to generate protection and retaliation, we were able to keep them on the ground a lot to alleviate the damage.
And that was fantastic. Your boon uptime was fantastic. Every time I looked at the Warrior side, every Warrior had 5 or more boons on them. What happened, Ghibli? Like, did you not have... how was the conditions going for you guys? Were you not expecting that, or what happened?
We're definitely expecting a high condition removal team, so we decided to run a little bit more power, but all those boons negated it a little bit. We only had 2 of them running Corrupt Boon, and that's on a long cooldown, and we also had the Well of Corruption. So it was a bit of a struggle with all the boons and stuff, and they were just DPSing us way too hard, just cleaving us down. So we were getting our downs, we just weren't getting our stomps off. They kept hitting us, and then, you know, rallying and stuff. It was just... I mean, props to like K-pop and his group. You know, they had reses off all the time. We ran no res signet. I told them, if you guys want to run signet, go for it. They said they didn't want to. They wanted to run some more mobility, a little bit more balls to the walls. And I said, let's go for it. It was fun though. They had a blast.
That was, yeah, fantastic game, guys. Great coaching by both of you. That nail-biting Foefire first game, that mid-fight was so intense. I did not know what was going on there. I did not know. I mean, I think it went something around 4 or 5 minutes before that midpoint was even capped. It was just contended. People kept coming back. That was just a fantastic fight.
I want to say props to Ghibli on making the switch to Plague Form. I saw at least 2 or 3 Plague Forms on that mid-fight. That was holding us back very hardcore because they couldn't handle the constant poison. Although our Condi comp was set up to clear, we're set up to clear maybe every 10, and that Plague Form is just putting out too much for us.
Awesome. So, guys, how are you feeling going from here? We do have the Warriors actually moving to the semifinals of whoever wins this next upcoming match. How are you guys feeling? What class would you rather fight? Would you rather go against Engineers, or are you looking at the Rangers?
Who's that to me?
Yeah, K-pop. What team would you rather fight coming up here next?
At this point, I think we'd have a better matchup against the Engineers because I'm anticipating another high Condi team. It'll just be of different types. Ranger Pets, if they're going to give us a hard time, I already know just that constant pressure on our bunker, they're going to have a hard time in the mid-fight.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it. This next match is going to be pretty intense. Rangers versus Engineers. We're just waiting for the Rangers to get in. Right now we have all the Engineers lined up. Is there anyone you guys would like to give a shout out? Your teams, your sponsors, anything like that?
I want to give
go ahead, Gibby. I'm sorry.
All right. I want to give a shout out to all the Necros, especially Kravik. He's the guy who's playing ISIS. So he had that chill build. Me and Anubis were both talking to him. We're very interested in it. So maybe watch out for that. Also, little shout out to my own guild, JFK. So hopefully we're going to be able to reform soon and get back out there.
Jolly Fat Kids, we're looking forward to you. Hopefully we can get some scrims from you guys in soon. That would be fantastic. Aria, over to K-pop. Any shout outs you want to give while you're still on?
Well, first I want to give props to my team here. Although a couple of them were new, they were a little concerned. I'm newer to Hammer, I'm newer to Longbow. They gave it a good shot, and they were able to pull out some good wins there. They had some excellent communication. And also, I want to give a shout out to Carl. I don't know if you guys noticed, our guild is In Sturdy Body We Trust, and the tag is Carl. We love you, Carl. Believe.
I did notice that. I didn't make any reference. I didn't know if anyone was going to catch that. I'm glad you brought that up. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, we appreciate you. We're probably going to switch over to the other coaches here, and good luck getting ready for the next game.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Those were the coaches from the previous teams, the Necromancers and the Warriors, which the Warriors ended up taking 2-1 and will move on in the tournament to the semifinals against the winner of this next match that we'll be getting into between the Engineers and the Rangers. We'll be getting those coaches into this call very shortly here to do a pregame little interview with them and see where those teams stand, who to watch, and what to expect from this match.
And then while we're waiting to get those coaches in the call, I wanted to go over, we slightly talked about MVP, but if you had to pick an MVP for both of those games, who would you pick, Filibuster?
I would go with Titan. Oh, that's tough. Titan for the Warriors, just slightly. He did fantastically. He stayed in the fights, and he was just a solid wall the entire match of both matches. He was just so stalwart, so difficult to get out of the way. For the Necromancers, I'm going to have to lean toward... I'm going to go with Iris. He did a good job of making things happen quite often and kind of being just a leader in those fights when their team were fighting mid for the Graveyard in the first match and things like that. Maestra had some good plays back in the backfield, not with the main team, but kind of off on her own. She did some great stuff, but unfortunately, I think it's going to go to Iris for me. How about you?
Iris, you know what? I'm 100% hands down Titan. As someone that has played a lot of Bunker Engineer and Bunker, Bunker Guardian, that guy amazed me with his Hammer Warhammer Bunker build. He would not die. He was landing all his skills, and those skills are not easy to land. So absolutely MVP Titan for me. Iris for Filibuster. That was fantastic.
Right. Well, I picked one from each team, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, so hopefully we'll have the other coaches in here pretty soon so we can get a little interview going. It looks like we've got the majority of everyone to the match here. I'm not sure how much we're waiting on, if it's just one more player or...
We got, I think, almost everyone in here. I'm just going to get the coaches to talk about their teams real quick. Let me drag them right in the call. Sorry, 1 second. Again, while I'm doing this, shout out to Sitting on a Couch Gaming for throwing this, and Tower Dive TV for helping us to produce this tournament.
Absolutely. We're happy to be a part of it here. And we've got the Ranger coach in here waiting on the other coach to get added in. But we can go ahead and start. Oh, here he comes. We should have the other coach here shortly. And there we go. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey.
Were you guys able to watch any of the last game at all?
I got a little bit of the Necro Warrior one. That was pretty exciting.
I saw the beginning of it, and that was it.
All right, so just to let you guys know, the Warriors, they did really well. So whoever wins this, you guys should be scared. But before it starts, let's start with Ranger Coach Nate. What do you guys got planned for us?
Well, I'm not gonna give away my whole strategy.
Please do.
Yeah. Just plans. Do you think your team's gonna do well? What are we looking at right here?
I'm a little nervous because I know NGs are pretty diverse. They can be bunkery, they can have DPS, they can be tanky conditions if they want. I'm not looking forward to all those grenades out there, but hope we brought enough condition removal to negate that.
Absolutely. And then heading over to the engineer coach, Mike, what are we going to be seeing? If you don't mind giving up anything, or if you want to talk what you've been practicing, I would love to hear it.
Well, I think this will be a really interesting match since it's a lot of players I've never seen before, so I'm excited to have them all into PvP. I'm really not pleased with our first draw against the Rangers since most people are complaining about Rangers specifically.
I am absolutely ecstatic to watch this. I'm hoping we see some Beastmasters, but again, maybe we'll see some Longbow Greatsword in there. For engineers, I'm definitely hoping you guys aren't running 5 HGH.
Oh man, I am excited to see 5 birds go across the map and just gib someone just in the middle of nowhere. It's going to be a crazy time. I think any big 4-on-4 team fights are just going to be a complete slaughter of AoE everywhere, healing springs, grenades. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. We do have everyone in the game, so we're going to switch over shortly. Is there anything else that you'd like to let us know, Mike, about engineers? Anything? What is the MVP? Who is the best person on your team that you think we should be watching?
It's really hard to say. We've got a lot more of a tanky setup for this one, so not a whole lot of damage output, but I think they'll show themselves. We've got some rank 3s in here and some rank like 30-ish, so I think we've got a good mix, and you're going to have to jump around between points to catch the action.
We'll see what we have from the engineers. Over at the Rangers, do you have someone that you think is going to be making plays? Anyone that might make some clutch steals or captures?
Definitely. You want to be looking at the pets and just the pets. Those are going to be all over the place, tearing people apart.
Having 5 pets on one team, that's like better than a warrior team, right? No, I'm just kidding.
We're playing a 10v5, so.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us. Did you have anything you want to add to that, Filibuster?
Absolutely not. Looking forward to this good match, and good luck to both of your teams.
All right, good luck, Rangers. Let's do this.
Yeah, good luck, NGs.
All right, switching over, we're going to see. I think everyone's ready.
Well, I had a look at the items here, and I wanted to bring something to your attention here. Shadow Shooter on the Ranger team. If you look at his shoulders there, there's no rune in there at all.
That's probably a mistake. What's he running right there? No, Shadow Shooters.
Undead across the board, except for the shoulders.
You know what? He has the rune on his face mask, and that's why he sees 6 out of 6. But that would only affect him if he were to go underwater. I'm going to make a quick note real quick. If he wants... Oh, no, it's starting!
Too late now.
So he won't be able to switch this until next match.
All right, then. Well, we'll have to keep on how he performs there and when he's outside of the water. We'll note on the map here that there's not a whole lot of water for the players to be fighting in. Underwater combat, not the focus of this match. We're back to the Forest of Niflheim, which we looked at originally here. We've got 5 players of each team, both leaving their bases and going to the objectives they so choose. Let us see where they end up going. 1 player from the red team going to the mine, 1 from the blue team going to the henge, and we've got a couple heading up to the monsters that have spawned up, and the majority of the red team getting the keep well before the blue team is going to get there.
And they're actually completely neglecting their buff. They really want to center on points. They're trying to get that both points. I'm guessing they're going to be fairly tanky, and they're not going to let those points go once they capture them.
Yeah, having that early point advantage will give them a good start if they can hold on to it. Blue team leading by a few points thanks to the killing on the buff down there. But we'll see what happens when these teams meet up for a good fight. There we go. We've got a little bit of engage.
If we could switch over to Vaz, actually. He is running a flamethrower elixir build, and I think he's kind of going to take the main bunker role for this. Let's see if he can keep them off the point.
Well, they have already gotten a good engage here. Not a whole lot of change going around as we look at Tavarius King is very low, but he's just down on the cliff next to Athray Stormrider, trying to go for the stomp there, and he's down. Poquito is fighting right in the middle of this here, but little guy's being forced out a little bit there. The engineer having a little trouble tanking that damage from all the Rangers on the point there. Rangers
supply kit dropping down, but Rangers don't care. They are taking this node.
Yes, they are. They're standing right on top of that. Vaz very close to getting killed off right here in the point. And down he goes. Oh, no, not quite yet. Almost there, down he goes. Vaz is out of there.
We actually, just quick note, Le Chaton Mortel, he's actually sneaking that spawn air buff. He's soloing it, but the engineer, Mira's coming up, and she is going to try and steal this.
Well,
let's see who gets this.
Ranger is now just focusing the engineer there, so Miru Guy may be able to get the buff.
Oh, and he did get the buff right there.
Very
so
nice.
That's going to be very good for them.
And got out without any trouble at all there. Paquito coming back up to the keep here. Should hopefully see some more engage as he rolls up. The red team is leading by about 40 points now by holding on to this point, but now it's just gone white. There's a bit of a fight. Are the engineers going to be able to hold this point against the Rangers here?
It's pretty close fight. The point is already neutralized. Looking to go more in the Rangers' favor right now. If they can keep the, or sorry, engineers' favor. If they can keep the Rangers off the point, they should be able to recapture it. But we do have those healing springs going down, and that regeneration is just keeping those Rangers up in this fight. You also have the spirits there really helping out.
Indeed, they're just stalwart on here despite the turrets and the devices that the engineers have placed. They're staying right here on this point, not giving an inch. They control the only point that's actually controlled. The henge is in the Rangers' favor completely. The mine has been lost for the red team now. So now the Rangers are going to quickly come up in the point totals, and if they can keep it as it is, they'll slowly take advantage. And if they can take either the mine or the keep here, they're going to get a huge lead going.
So this midpoint is definitely crucial for whatever team is going to win this. But they cannot neglect the buffs. That is 25 points. If one team can control it, they're looking at 50 points every 3 minutes just from these buffs. We have Chieftain up, and no one has made a move to it. They're just really trying to get this midpoint.
Indeed. It's a pretty close contention here. There is no point held for the red, and they may take that as a higher priority to get that on there and to at least even things out. But down at the mine, who's fighting down there? See, this is all here. Here we go. Miru Guy trying to one-on-one against Leishron Mattel there.
Yeah, this is a revenge fight. Shaitan, he's got grudge. He is mad that Miru stole the buff, but we are going to see how this pans out quickly.
Yeah, this could, if the Rangers manage to take this point, this will be huge for them, controlling 2 of the 3 points, getting that point advantage that they've got now a 20-point lead in this point in the game. Nigeria are doing plenty of damage to Le Chaton Mortel, but we'll see how that maintains. Blue team has taken the keep now and forced the engineers off that, so they've got a huge lead. And with them already contesting the mine here, well, the henge has just gone down to the engineers, but that gives the blue team a great position at this point.
And Vaz is coming back. He does not want to leave that midpoint. Anything he can do to stay there, he is. And we actually saw something really cool right there. The engineer does have a flamethrower kit that has an air burst. If you've ever played Team Fortress 2 and played a pyro, that's exactly what it does. Shoots out a blast of air, knocks people back. It also knocks projectiles, and he is using that to shoot arrows right back at the engineers.
Fight going over at the henge. Terra Shyneless trying to take it, but 2 Rangers there to hold the point. Terra goes down. is going to be able to be killed very quickly here, and very soon we'll see Terra go down. Just waiting for the final blow, but doing a good job of putting damage right back onto Kenson, and maybe able to keep this point neutral.
Those entangling roots coming down, the engineers are not destroying them. This could go well for the Rangers right there. But the engineers, they do have some backup trying to get that res off.
The Rangers still controlling the keep here. The mine has gone to the engineers once again, and Henge leaving a 2-to-1 point advantage here for the blue team once again as they fight over this midpoint again and again. The constant bickering over this point, the focus of this match.
Rangers actually did just get they did just get Chieftain, so that is another 25-point lead. We do have Engineer, Miru, and Terra. They are trying to take out Svanir. It looks like they're going to get this rather uncontested.
Pretty easily, although that's two that were away from the mid-fight here. Maybe enough of an advantage for the Rangers to be able to take this point. VoDs is doing his best to hold on this point, but it's 3-on-1 right now. He needs help from his team if he's going to be able to stay here. So very tanky and so much sustain to stay in this point. He's doing a great job of holding it, but he goes down, and that leaves the point to the blue team's advantage there, with Terra doing it best to keep it from flipping back over. Chateau Motel and Anthrage, fighting for that point as best as they can. The Bear getting in on the action as well. Blue finally taking that midpoint, but having lost the Henge once again as they fight over these points so very much. Rangers are still maintaining about an 80-point lead.
And let's see if the engineers, they look like they're trying to push, but they didn't bring the numbers to do it. We already have Terra down, VoDs trying to get that mid-neutral, but those Rangers, they will not let it go.
No, they will not. They have the mine once again. Red has taken the Henge, but there is contention there. We'll see if VoDs can stay alive long enough to get this point secured, long enough just to get some help here. He does have some on the way. No, that's just a dead person. Terra, sorry, mistake you for help. But there we go. The Rangers look like they took that point, no problem. And it's going to go back to the fight for Henge here. Muru Guy.
Actually, if I want to point something out, if you switch on over to Shadow Shooter over at Mine, this is the guy that is not even running a full rune set. This guy has 180 points, the most points in the game right now. He has been at Mine almost the whole game, and he has really been just doing a great job holding it. He's 2v1ing right now. He does have the 25 stacks of life, so this guy is going to be extremely hard to kill. But a 3v1 might be exactly what it takes to drop him.
Yes, having all of your runes apparently unnecessary to be able to 3v1 for a good long time, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the point from this here. He's just holding on and trying to tie these two up to keep the rest of the team in a numbers advantage.
Right, so to get back in the game, the engineers are really looking at that buff control. If they can get both of the next buffs, which are actually coming up within about the next minute and a half, that's what they need to get back in the game. So let's hope, and maybe we'll see if engineers can come back and make a clutch play, or if Rangers can hold this victory.
Well, they've got about 100 points in which to do that. If they take the buffs, they'll be well off. The points are tied 1-for-1. Rangers finally getting around back to starting to contest the Henge here. Kensu Jin trying to fight against Paquito and Tavarius King. Tavarius King, we haven't seen a whole lot of outside of the Henge this map. Mostly been seeing the majority of the other engineers probably sitting here most of the time trying to hold this point against the Rangers, but so much force from the Rangers here now. This Henge is the contested point. The engineers do have 2 points now, and they're going to have the advantage here going in. Are they going to be able to take down Jin here pretty quickly and be able to hold on to this point? That can give them the win that they need if they can get this, if they can get the buffs. They are working on the buff right now. Let's see.
We do have the Rangers coming in trying to steal it. We already have Paquito down. Note, though, if you kill a buff, it is just like killing a person. You will rally. So no matter who kills the buff, Paquito's up anyway. But if you kill a buff and someone's dead, they will come back alive no matter who kills it.
Indeed, and that would be good if they can pull that off, but it looks like the buff is going less contested than the point at this juncture. There's still a little bit of fighting going for that. All the engineering team very, very low in health. 3 of them down now. VoDs just goes
4.
down as well. Murugai, the only one fighting Le Chaton Martel, way down in the other point. This is quickly going to go into the favor for the Rangers here. If they can hold on to this, get those stomps down, which they have 2 down already.
Kills.
And they're going to retake this point, possibly be able to take this buff as well, and that might be enough to finish the game for them. Red team has lost all of their points. Blue now has 2. This is going to be very handily in the hands of the Rangers here, unless the red team can make something happen, and happen very, very quickly. Because if the Rangers take this, they're going to win right off the back of killing the Chieftain here.
I've never seen Chieftain pulled so far off of his point. That was actually the problem. Oh, and the Chieftain kill secures the Ranger that win.
All right, and that leaves us a final score of 503 for the blue team against 380 for the red team. Anthridge Stormrider followed closely by Shadow Studer with the highest scores for the Rangers, and the highest score on Terra Shyless for the Engineers, followed very closely by Murugai, constantly fighting off in the back with the split pushing or the opposing Rangers there. So that's going to give the Rangers a 2-1 advantage here into the first match. If they can take the next match, they'll move on to the semifinals against the Warriors, or will we see the Necromancers, or sorry, the Engineers come back and even up this fight to bring it to a third match?
Going into Legacy of the Full Fire, the second match of Rangers versus Engineers. This map is very similar. It has 3 capture points. The unique portion of this map features the Red Lord and the Blue Lord. Each team has a boss inside of their base that the enemy team has to break down the doors, kill his guards, and then pretty much do this almost PvE style boss fight. Killing that buff can be rather hard, but it awards your team 150 points. Which is, a lot of points pretty much when you only need 500 to win. So usually an average strategy we see is if a team is not doing so well but they have above 350 points, they might send their whole team to the Lord, try and kill it, and it really leads for some clutch things we can see on this map.
Well, I would very much like to see an attempt for that, see how that works out for a team. We'll see if they follow the Necros versus Warriors strategy of just continuing to fight over the points and holding on to the points, or if they're going to go for that. Now, you'll see this is one of the doors for the blue base. The other's right over here. We'll just go right inside so you can see it interiorly. Both of the doors here. You can knock down either of these to get into the base. And in this area here on camera is where that boss will spawn with a couple of minions with them, some casters and some warriors. And they'll have to fight that boss in those ads and take that to get the 150 point advantage there if they're able to do so. Very exciting to see if they will attempt that.
So last game we saw a lot of action in the Graveyard. Not last game, sorry, but I mean in the Warriors versus the Necromancers. Graveyard was the main focal point of this game. No one even went for bosses. So I wonder if they're going to do that again. We should definitely keep our eye on Graveyard and see what happens there.
Indeed, we should. Graveyard, of course, the focal point. Any midpoint is usually going to be. We saw it with the keep. Both teams would just focus everything they've got towards that, sometimes at the loss of a buff or even an outer point, but they want that center point. They want to hold it. They want to get one of their tanky guys on there and prevent it from going to the other team, much like we saw with Titan on the Warriors. Just him and one or two other guys holding it against the entire onslaught of the Necromancers was a fantastic show. We'll hopefully see something similar here. So to do a quick wrap intro for anyone who may be joining us late, my name is Filibuster Fox, and I am from Tower Dive TV. I'm joined today with Android. Say hello, Android.
Hello, guys.
And we are casting the SOAC tournament here with the profession matches. Each team is made up of only one profession, and it's going to be a even match between these. We saw the Necromancers versus the Warriors first. The Warriors took that 2-0, and now we're in the second match of the Rangers versus the Engineers, and they are winning. The Rangers are winning by 1 game here. If they win this, they take the match.
All right, guys. Game starting up right now. Let's open map and see what split we can see for Legacy of Faux Fire.
Okay, we've got 3 Rangers going right to the graveyard, 2 going around the back door to go to the waterfall, 3 Engineers going right to meet them in the graveyard, 2 running around to the quarry at a bit of a distant route there, going a long way. But
so completely even split. If we could switch on over to Anthron Stormrage, in my mind, he was MVP of last game. He had a sheer amount of points and objective control. But going down.
And, you know, Shadow Shooter also here, the one who's only got 5 of the 6 runes available, unless he goes for a little bit of a swim in the waterfall. But VoDs here doing a great job of holding on to the tankiness in this point. Anthrage and Shadow is doing their best to fight these 3 Engineers here. One from the blue team had been going down over to the quarry there, but it looks like they came back to the graveyard to contest this middle point. Each the quarry and the waterfall have been taken by their respective teams, and now it's a major fight in this middle point, the graveyard, to see who will take the advantage here. And VoDs doing his best to stay as in the middle of this point, holding it against the the Rangers here. And how do you think this point is going to play out with the range ability from these Rangers from those overlooking points?
You know what? Both teams actually have fairly large range kits. Engineers actually are running a lot more range than the Rangers in this game. We're seeing a lot of knives and stuff, swords on the Rangers. So I think Engineers actually have a slight advantage when it comes to range on this map.
VoDs was taken down, but it looks like Terra is going to be able to get the revive unless Kensu Jin can get here in time. Is he going to be able to stop it? And no, he's not. VoDs gets right back up and is right back into the fight. Good attempt by Kensu to try and contest that revive, but he got there just a tad too late. Wasn't able to stop it. Pokito has died here, and the fight is still going intensely for the graveyard here. Doesn't look like anyone's really trying to get around the back. We've got one from the Engineers hanging out on the quarry. Miru Guy just fighting this juvenile wolf, trying to keep the wolf from taking the point. Just all alone back there, while the focus from the Rangers teams, all 5 of them are on the graveyard, and they're just sniping away as best they can, trying to take this point, get VoDs out of there. Terra also taking a lot of damage here, may look to go down very shortly here, and Terra does take enough damage to go down and is out of this fight. VoDs is all alone in the point now. The Tavarius King, having gotten there now, of course, is going to be very good for him to not be running solo there.
Rangers definitely an advantage right now in this mid fight. Let's see if they can win this.
Yeah, but Tavarius King not even going for the fight there. He's sneaking around to the waterfall to join off Pokito in the fight here against Kensu Jin. Rotted Ranger is here as well to engage in the waterfall fight. Are they going to be able to take this back base away from the Rangers here and get a 2-to-1 point advantage and then win the fight in Graveyard? They've got a good chance to make up this point difference right now if they can manage to hold this point. They're only 7 points behind here, so they've got a very quick chance at a comeback. It's still a very even match.
All right, Filibuster, if you just take 1 second, open up your options real quick, and if you go to your user interface and turn on show skill recharge, it'll actually let people see the cooldown of the skills. Some people are kind of requesting that right now.
Fantastic. I will turn that on. Show skill recharge. There we go. There you go, guys. It is now on there. You've got the timer set up at the bottom for you. Sorry about that. And here we go. Back into the casting here. Terra is taken down and may be able to get stomped here by Shadow Shooter. Ooh, and he doesn't quite get it off. Was interrupted there, but he's going to give another try. And down goes Terra. That's going to give a person up advantage for the blue team. Let's see what they can get up off the back from this. The waterfall is still held by the Engineers into the opposing point there, but there's a fight going for it right now. Keto doing his best to hold on to that point against Kensu Jin and Shadow Shooter, who are probably going to be able to wrest it away from him here, but none of the points are contested now. Or none of the points are owned now. Everything is up in the air for this game. Engineers with about a 20-point lead now that Pokito has been killed, and they're going to take the waterfall back in favor of the Rangers. Back to mid. VoDs doing a very good job of holding off as many people as he can there. Knocked right out of the point, and he's getting very, very low in health. Is he going to be able to stay up here against this onslaught from all these Rangers?
And you know what, just a quick note, VoDs has actually been there for almost 4 minutes, the 2v1ing, 3v1ing. He has just been doing great to keep that neutralized, really keeping the Engineers, keeping the lead that they did have. Sad to see him go down right now, but Engineers will not let that node get capped by the Rangers.
Absolutely not. That's just worst case scenario for them to lose that. They're fighting so hard to hold this. VoDs did a great job of staying in there. He'll be coming back now. Terra is down. Oh, the stomp not quite successful there. And Paquito coming in for the save. He's going to try to get the rev off. Is he going to be able to get Terra back up to this fight? And we'll see very shortly here. And he's going to try once again getting knocked away from that. Terra, the focal point of this fight right now.
Terra is down.
And down she goes, not available in the fight. And that means that they're just going to go right back to fighting the point instead of trying to fight for Terra. And
Entangling Roots going down by Anthridge really, really going to help this fight.
yeah, Mirror Guy taking a lot of damage there. But Voz is back now, so this point will continue to be uncontested for quite some time. The Engineers are still leading by about 20 points or so. But we'll see what happens on the back of these fights to see if that changes up. We've got a little protection over at the waterfall here as, let's see, who is that back there? We'll get to them eventually. There's Kinsu fighting up against Tavarius King, trying to hold on to the waterfall here against this back door from the Engineers, which they've been doing fairly consistently and to good success, which has them that early advantage that they have. Kinsu is now down. Looks like Tavarius is going to get the stomp off here, and nope, not quite, but it'll be fine. He's still down. Going back up to the mid-fight. Paquito is down as well, about to get stomped by Shadow Shooter, and Shadow Shooter picks up kill.
No!
Oh no, he gets interrupted! Oh, very nice interrupt there.
Paquito down by the pet, though. That pet just constantly DPSing him.
Oh, a fantastic attempt to stay alive there. Interrupting at the last possible second to stay alive, but unfortunately, the little pets from the range are doing more than enough. The little furry creatures taking as many kills as they can from their teammates. Voz doing his best to stay up again. Is he going to be able to stay up here? He's got his and down he goes. It leaves Terra to try and get him up.
It's so close.
Shadow Shooter picks it up.
Very close.
And Terra is now all alone in the midpoint. Oh, here's Paquito to help fight, coming out behind Anthridge, but he's just running around in circles. There he goes. He finally placed something and shot at Anthridge. Just ran around for a bit there. Anthridge just knocked down fairly quickly from that explosive barrel that Paquito had thrown down.
And just to point this out, Engineers have actually had the point way longer than the Rangers. Or sorry, the Engineers have had the point, but the Rangers have so many kills that those points have just been adding up and really keeping them neck and neck.
And now with this advantage, they've picked up 2 points off of that. They've got the Graveyard and the Waterfall, and they're now leading by about 15 points. Paquito going down to increase that lead even further. Having a quick look over at the scoreboard, we're seeing Kinsu Jin and Shadow Shooter both tied with 90 points. They're the closest on the Engineer, being Miru Guy with 40, followed closely by Tavarius King. The Rangers getting so many points from these kills that they're getting. The point control from the Engineers have been so very solid throughout this match, getting to the back to that waterfall, contesting it in these situations. Voz now focusing on the waterfall here. They're doing everything they can to take this. And, I think they may be trying to set up here for a later attempt to go after the boss in the base here, because if they can get this rear point controlled and have this striking zone to work from, they're so much closer to getting to that boss if they can get up to that 350 point range.
Absolutely. If they can secure this, they can send one person, start taking down that door, and once they hit 350, they could rush it and just secure them that victory and keep them in this best of 3.
Kensujin has died for the Rangers, and that's going to give a great chance for Voss and Tavarius King to take this point down at the waterfall. But here's Rotted Ranger and Shadow Shooter to contest them off, and it won't be long before Kensujin can come back into this fight if he goes right to it. Tavarius King getting very low, may get taken down here pretty shortly, but just staying in there as best he can. And he's finally going down. He's in danger of dying now. Terrashulis is down as well elsewhere in the fight. But Vaz he's trying to get that back up. He got Tavarius King back up, and they're going to continue to contest this point as long as they can. Graveyard still in control of the Rangers here, and they're having that fight over there, but it looks like it's three Engineers on 3 Rangers here in the mid, 2 on 2 in the waterfall. Corey just completely ignored, no one there at all, completely uncontrolled. It is a non-factor in this fight, but the Rangers are still leading by about 30 points.
Absolutely. You're seeing both teams have rather tanky builds. No one wants to let their node get defeated, and these fights are just really long, drawn-out, fun fights. Very interesting to see. Indeed. We have a lot of elixirs on the Engineers. We have the healing, we have the life runes, we have the spring and the spirits on the Rangers. So both of them just have a really high boon up time. Kind of lower conditions, but definitely more conditions on Ranger than Engineer.
Paquito in a lot of trouble here against Anthridge in the corner next to the Graveyard. The Anthridge also very low, could go either way here. Paquito got stumped. Oh, no, he interrupted it once again. He keeps tricking me with that animation. Here they go again, finally finishing him off. Tavarius King in trouble over at the waterfall. All of the Rangers still up, and now they've got that 5-on-4 advantage once again. Are they going to be able to pick up anything off of this?
What?
Well, it looks
Nope.
it looks like not really. Tavarius King is dead now, and Paquito has respawned, but he's still getting out to the fight. But so many Rangers here fighting VoDs and Terra for control of the waterfall here. Anthridge just sitting around on that graveyard point in the middle, holding it. Their kill advantage so very huge. They're leading by about 50 points, even though it's mostly been 1 point for 1 point throughout this. The quarry has been taken finally by the red team, but it looks like it's being engaged. Let's see who's over there. We'll find out very shortly here. And nope, no one's over there. It's just a pet, I guess. Oh, Mortel's there. That's it. There we go. Against Murugai, Mortel and Murugai just fighting for that point. And here's Tavarius King to help hold the quarry there. But Vaz is dead, and that means the waterfall is likely going to go into the favor of the blue team once again here. Paquito doing his best to stay alive here, but he's very outnumbered, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble now. He is down, he is dying, trying to stay alive here, but they're going to be able to finish him off and retake this point without much difficulty now. Now, the question is, are the engineers going to be able to try and contest the midpoint and hold onto the quarry against this while the Rangers take this large point lead from the kills and are now going to have the 2-to-1 advantage? Looks like the engineers are heading for the base now.
Yeah, that would be awesome. They only need 40 more points plus the boss to take it out. Blue team does already have over 350 points if they decided to go towards that boss, and they could kill him. That would secure them their victory.
The door does go down. Tavarius and Terra going right in for the boss, followed by Mortel and Shadow Shooter coming to engage them. I don't favor the Engineers' chances taking this 2-on-2. That's going to be a lot of trouble for them, but we'll see what they end up doing here. This is going to be the key here. Now, you'll see there are 4 add-on minions as well as the boss up there to cast with the warrior. They successfully pulled one of those soldiers out without getting any of the other aggro here. So they're going to be able to try to pick it off bit by bit here without engaging everything all at once, but they've got 2 rangers on top of them. They're going to make it as difficult as possible. Meanwhile, the rangers are holding 2 points, and if they cannot get this lord killed in the next minute or so, the rangers will be able to take this match out.
That quarry is uncontested, so as long as that quarry can give them another 10 points, they will be able to take the Lord and secure the victory. But the Rangers' points are getting very close, they're getting the kills, and they are nearing that 500-point victory limit.
Yeah, and Terra is down, Tavarius is in a lot of trouble running away. They're not going to be able to kill the Lord here, successfully defended by the Rangers, and that may well put it into the bag for the Rangers at this point, only needing 40 more points unless these points can be very quickly cleared off by the Engineers. We may see the Rangers take this match and go 2-0 against the Engineers.
And then we will be seeing maybe an Engineer versus Warrior. I am excited about that.
I mean, Ranger.
A Ranger 20 points away. They just have to hold on to these points for a little longer. Ranger or Engineers, if they can get to those points, clear them and contest them, stay in the game a little longer. Doesn't look like that's going to happen.
No, it looks like 2 more points to go. 1 more point, and then the Rangers take it. 500 points to 370. The high score, Shadow Shooter with 140. Once again, does he still lack that rune? Did he get a chance to fix that? No, he did not. Still running with 5 of the 6 runes and leading the scoreboard. Le Chaton Mortel following up, tied with Kensu Jin with 120 points each. So many kills in favor of this Ranger team. That's what really led them to take these fights here. And that's going to make them 2-0 and move on to the semifinals against the Warriors. So we're going to see Warriors and Rangers fight it for the semifinal. And the winner of that will move on to the finals against whoever takes the bracket. If anyone knows how the other bracket is going, please let us know in chat so we can keep everyone informed, and we'll see what is going on. So that is the second of the best of 3, giving the win to the Rangers there. So let's get the coaches in here and see what their post-game talk is going to be like.
Absolutely. Just give me 1 second. I'll add them right to the call.
And as soon as they load in here, they may be finishing off with their teams. We've got one in, waiting on the second here. Hello, Nate, the coach of the Rangers. While we wait on Mike to get... There we go. Everyone's here. Hello again, gentlemen. Well, let's go ahead right to Mike here for the Engineers. How did you feel coming out of these matches? What do you think went wrong, and what do you think could have been done to take those matches away from the Rangers?
We had a lot of brutal fights. I thought a lot of the team fights were very slow and painful. We had one ranger kept pushing our back point, which put a lot of pressure on us, and we never really got a good head count at mid, thanks to all the dogs running around to see if we could send someone to far. We had a couple people with bad positioning, which hurt us a lot, like our rifle NG. Kept running around in the mid and just getting torn apart, so we'd be down one. We had a good bunkery team, which could just sit on points for a long time. It was a very slow match, just the points racked up over a large amount of time, and no one usually had more than 1 point controlled. Would have liked if we had gotten to 350 a little bit sooner and could have made that Lord push as a concerted effort rather than two people who just kind of stalemated it over there.
So, quick question too. I noticed that one of your players was actually running the Elixir Elite. I never saw him use it though. What was going on? I really was looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't watch the Elites very closely. He was praising it so that he could pop Tornado and blow everyone off the point, but I didn't see it happen.
Yeah, I never saw it happening. That the first fight in middle of Faux Fire, the Rangers had popped all their elites so early, the engineers still had them, and they died with them. They never popped any of them. It was pretty weird. I was looking forward, but unfortunately, maybe they just weren't paying attention.
I thought our Forest match was great, and just a couple of small mistakes really set us behind. We had people on the far side of the map just with no support, and in that last fight, one of our guys decided to pull Chieftain in. So we had two people just like insta-gived at the get-go for the last team fight.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that Chieftain was kind of sitting there that whole team fight, just DPSing the engineers down.
It was brutal.
Yeah, it did not. That was not good at all. Probably lost them that fight actually.
After the matches, just definitely going to have to say Miru was MVP. He's a new player, rank 5. He did a great job bunkering back points.
I saw that. Really new player. He was trying to steal some buffs. He was trying to take some points. He did great, actually, both points. But, yeah, unfortunately, the Rangers did come out on top. Nate, how do you feel coming out of those?
You know, a win's a win. I'm feeling pretty good.
A little more nervous going against engineers. I thought the engineers, they were going to be running more grenades. We did see the mix of grenades and bombs, but what were you expecting?
I was expecting like 4 grenade NGs and 1 bunker NG, like 2 power specs, 2 condition specs, just not knowing who to target first. I was just going to expect complete chaos. Luckily, that wasn't the case. They only seemed to have 1 grenade NG, so...
Oh, I could hope. But fortunately, we got most people out of flamethrower mode. We had a lot of people who just wanted to survive, and no one felt confident with their nades. Overall, though, I was very pleased with their turnout.
I do want to throw out a shout-out to the engineer team. I actually main engineer somewhere around 800 games. I hate HGH. I'm going to throw that out there.
Amen.
I hate grenades. It sucks. Grenades and elixirs. So it was actually awesome for me to see those builds. I would have liked to see him do better. Voss, sorry. He was fantastic. Never died. So that was great to see. Nate, how did you prep your team?
I just kind of gave them a basic strategy. I had them give me their builds, and I kind of used what skills they already had. Luckily enough, Le Chaton, Beastmaster with Longbow Greatsword, very similar build to what I run. So I just had him push far point for the most part and get that decap because I knew he could. And I think that was a pretty clutch play and helped us get the win.
Going into this next game, how do you feel about fighting these warriors?
Personally, I thought the Engines were going to be the hardest game, but the Warriors beat the Necros, and I know their damage is up there. I am worried. My team might not have that many stun breakers, and
maybe we'll see some tornado.
Hopefully they're not all running 100 blades. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. I guess you're gonna get a chance to watch the Warrior game. I'm not gonna spoil that. What do you think your team needs to do to win this?
I think we need to control the Treb. We need to keep numbers. We got to get numbers on lockdown. We got to know where they are and who's using what. We cannot let a bunch of warriors run around and get free bull rushes on us.
Awesome. All right. I think we have the Rangers going. Thanks for coming in, guys. Was there anything you wanted to add, Filibuster?
Well, it was a great game to watch. You guys both did fantastically. Your team's great, fun to watch. It was a good game, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from the Rangers here. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing those players again in the future from the Engineer team as well.
Amen. Good games, Rangers. Had a blast.
Yeah, good games, NGs. See you on the fields, Team Hawk.
Have a good one, Yura. Take care, guys.
Have a good one. So those were the coaches from the Rangers and the Engineers team. The Rangers taking the 2-0 victory there. Previously, the Warriors beat the Necromancers 2-0, so we'll see the semifinal match between the Warriors and the Rangers next up on the channel. And once that finishes, the winner of that will be playing here in the finals against whoever's winning the other bracket. So far, it looks like the Elementalists beat the Thieves 2-0, and the Guards are ahead of the Mesmers right now, but that has a way to go yet, and we'll see how that ends up going. Of course, whoever takes that semifinal match will come up against our semifinalist winner in the finals here at the Tower Dive TV stream. My name is Filibuster Fox, and I'm your host today, joined by Android here. Say hello, Android.
How's it going, guys? Just quick to put it out there, I was actually wrong. We're not moving to the semifinals just quite yet. We're going to hop on down towards that loser bracket consolidation match. We're going to do the Necromancer Engineer best of 3 before we start the semifinals.
All right, fantastic. So that's what's the next one we see. We'll have another chance for them to show their stuff. Now, from that last match, who are your MVP picks?
You know what? My MVP pick definitely went to Voss. I love Engineers. That guy, he was soloing people for so long. He was 1v2ing, he was 1v3ing, and he was not going down. He was showing off the airburst of the flamethrower and really getting some reverse projectiles going on and trying to keep that node his. Even though they lost, he did a fantastic job playing. And it was very entertaining for me to watch.
Absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Vaz again. He is my pick as MVP, despite being on the team that did not take the victory. He did shine, I think, of the two. He is probably my favorite of the MVPs. Of course, for the Rangers, MVP is going to have to go to Shadow Shooter.
Shadow Shooter, proving that you do not need that full rune set bonus to be strong. That guy was a monster.